Let's talk about women's next, Nick.
Absolutely. Well, this is about women heading the ball in football. We did one the other day on Free Speech Nation about are women too emotional to play football, so now they're trying to get me in trouble with another women's football story. Should heading be banned? So the idea is that women have weaker necks and worse visual awareness.
Last week they were more emotional. This week they've got weak necks.
They've got weak necks. And
we've really got it in for female footballers, haven't we?
Yes. Well, we're just going by the facts, Mark. There's also a claim that they head the ball with greater acceleration than men, and that's part of it. So it's interesting because there's been calls for heading to be outlawed in the men's game because of dementia and brain damage. Many people from the 1966 World Cup winning team have had problems with that. And that is a big problem. And then people have suggested, now there's this thing, you should only do 10 headers per week in training is the rule. I don't know if anyone's actually following that. So my problem with it is, of course I don't want anyone to get brain damage. My problem is,
Thanks for that caveat.
Yeah, speaking of the men, we have to say things like that these days. Speaking of the men's game first, the problem is sport's not really about safety. Like, tomorrow we've got Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte bashing each other's heads in, and that's sport. It's not supposed to be safe. So this safetyism's creeped into football. So to some degree, sport is about risk. In the women's game, I'm less sure because, one, I don't really watch it and I don't really want to speak for it. If women want to remove heading, I'm going to say it's up to the women's game to see what they want to do. That's my stance.
Are you a footballer?
Basketball. And I did play a little bit of soccer when I was a kid, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
By the football, I'm Canadian.
I think, by the way, I think resolve this, which is I think heading's bad for everyone and we should just stop doing it.
I played five-a-side once a week. I tried to never head it. The ball should be on the ground anyway. That's how you play the beautiful game, especially at five-a-side. That's what Brian Clough said.
Definitely.
I think if you're going to take it away from women, you got to take it away from men, because a lot of people like to complain that, the women's game isn't as exciting as the men. But when you start clipping their wings and making the rules different for them than it is for the men, it's no wonder why. It's almost like in stand-up comedy. If you're a woman who swears or does more, blue material, it's like, oh, have her at birthday parties. It's like they're trying to put you under different parameters than the men and then try to compare you on an even...
The lack of heading would ruin football, so in that case, we need to keep it for both.
Now you're talking.
Even though I don't want to head it in my five-a-side, but that's my choice as a, amateur.
You and your five-a-side, by the way. Wow. Love to see your legs one day. Quite something to behold, especially on a hangover.